Another target found. Name OCD. Status diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder.
How about my friend See Dee? She has obsessive preoccupations and intrusive thoughts, and she has actually been diagnosed by a doctor with OCD. So, isn't exercise addiction just some kind of OCD?
Oh, no. Compulsions in OCD, they are actually exclude behaviors that are meant to provide gratification and pleasure. So your friend C is just doing all these actions to reduce her anxiety, right?
Oi! Both of you look so dirty!
She's crazy to me.
Don't call her crazy. But anyway, in exercise addiction, you exercise not only to reduce the negative effect, but you also exercise to create positive dynamic effects.
So people with exercise addiction find it difficult to manage their impulse to exercise, and they continue to exercise despite possible negative consequences. So isn't exercise addiction quite similar to impulse control disorder?
Yes, that is a very good question. But sorry, Axel, I'm too tired to explain, and I believe I have spoken too much. Let me refer you to my colleague Dr. Fuss, so that she can get some airtime as well.
Hi, Axel!
Yes, like you have mentioned, problem exercisers may indeed experience trouble regulating their exercising behavior, and they may continue to exercise despite negative consequences. But I'm sure you have heard of the new book in town, the DSM-5. In the DSM-5, this category no longer exists. Some of the disorders listed in the chapter will move to other categories, and some will subsume into a new chapter called Disruptive, Impulse Control and Conduct Disorders. While excessive exercising is likely to cause harm to self, we did not find any evidence that suggests that excessive exercise may violate the rights of others or cause significant conflict with authority. Thus, it does not seem appropriate to include excessive exercise as a disorder within this classification. Hence, certain patterns of excessive exercise, like the one you display, do not seem to fit into the two classes of disorders mentioned earlier, and thus, just like the group tolerance, I find that it is more suitable to be described as an addictive disorder instead.
Sure. Let's ask my friend Mun Ching. Hey, Mun Ching, hi.
Hey, hi.
You want to go get some food?
No, I'm not hungry.
You're hungry?
Yeah.
I thought you just went to the gym just now.
Yeah, but just give me a moment.
Another target found. Name Kip Mun Ching. Status diagnosed with anorexia nervosa.
500 minus 4.
What are you doing?
Counting calories. Oh my god, seriously. Hey, you know what? I'll tell everything about this. You see? I just drink water.
Seriously? Okay, Prof, let's go get some food. Let's go. So my friend Mun Ching, she exercises a lot, but she rarely eats. In fact, she's been diagnosed by a doctor with anorexia. So, isn't exercise addiction just some form of anorexia?
No, exercise addiction is not just a manifestation of anorexia. Let me explain to you.
Exercise addiction is often associated with eating disorders due to the fact that they are highly comorbid. Therefore, a researcher by the name of Vail proposed that exercise addiction can be classified into primary or secondary disorders. In the primary disorder, the individual is addicted to the act of exercising through various physiological and psychological mechanisms. We will talk about them later. On the other hand, in the secondary disorder, excessive exercising is normally a manifestation of another underlying disorder, such as anorexia. It is possible for excessive exercise to subsequently take on an independent progression, resulting in exercise addiction. This is again possible through the various physiological and psychological mechanisms, which we will now explore. So, when an individual exercises, there are physiological changes that occur. The body temperature of the individual tends to increase, and this warmth reduces anxiety and increases relaxation. This is known as the thermogenic regulation hypothesis. Also, catecholamine are also released during exercise. Catecholamine can increase one's mood and enhance stress response. This is also known as the catecholamine hypothesis. In both cases, the exercise addict learns the association between exercise and the positive feelings, and this leads to these people increasing their amounts of exercise in order to have more of such positive feelings, and this can lead to exercise addiction developing. Physiological changes aside, there can also be psychological effects during exercise. According to the cognitive appraisal hypothesis, addicts appraise exercise as a healthy coping strategy for stress, and therefore they exercise excessively at the expense of work or social obligations. They continue to rationalize their excessive amounts of exercise as a form of healthy coping strategy, and this can lead to dysfunction in their work or social settings. And this creates even more stress, and guess what happens next? These people exercise even more to cope with the stress, and the vicious cycle goes on. What can be noticed now is that exercise addiction and eating disorders, they have different etiology. Exercise addiction develops through the mechanisms explained earlier. Eating disorder, on the other hand, involves social, cultural and family influences, as well as personality and self-esteem issues. So, this leads us to the conclusion that exercise addiction is not equivalent to eating disorders.